a creek used to go. We used to go there and play in the water and walk around and have fun with the children. And mothers used to go there. There's 4 months of summer. We used to go there first of June, May even maybe, until fall. We used to be up
Did
there.
anyone ever go to the seashore?
There is no sea. There is no sea at all. Just a creek, water. I mean, couple, just water here and there, nothing any. And so there was a creek used to run, and we used to play over there. And they used to have fun. Every night they used to have music and do funs and everything. And there was a man that my uncle had as a doorman. Over there, you have to carry your shopping, whatever you do, no car or anything. You pay to somebody to bring it to home with you. But my uncle had a doorman, this old man that wasn't old there. And he used to keep him to bring messenger like between my father and he. He used to take him to the shopping and to buy things, and so he could bring it home. And they used to marry him to another man that dressed him up like a woman, had fun, you know. Every other night, poor thing, he wouldn't say that. He wasn't. No, this is not men. You know, they used to have weddings every night, the summer places. So we had such a wonderful time.
Yeah.
They used to. My father was very musical. He used to play several instruments.
Do you think that's where Auntie Sarah and Auntie Gracie got their talent from?
I think, and Harry was musical.
Oh, I see.
I mean, they're from both sides. And I had aunts, my mother's sisters, and uncles. We always had loving family, come together and have fun and go back and forth.
So what you think what made people happy then was first of all that they had a good family.
Good
and
family.
that their life was of a good level.
Good level.
It wasn't impoverished.
No, no. Not my surroundings. They were all, that's how I grew up. I don't know any other. Poor people were very poor. The day that they used to come over to do our wash or something, my mother used to make them lahmacun or kiftariyahna or something, feed them. They used to say, why, we don't get this thing. My mother thought about they can't get it at home. So she used to give it to them.
What did your parents think about the Turks even before the deportations? Do you remember?
There was no such thing as Turks in Armenia. I mean, you grew up now, you don't think of Americans different, next door neighbor. That's how it is. We don't know, we didn't know anything like that. In fact, with some of them, we were such a good friends. The one that made most famous baklava in Aintab was our next door. Their house is this way, big house, and ours is here. My Dr. Grandpa's house I'm talking about. We stayed there most of the time, when I was growing. And she used to knock on the door. There was a little window my mother used to open. He said, first she used to say, his name was Muhammad Said. Muhammad Said sent this home and said that this is for her sister. He used to call my mother's sister because same street they played together.
Oh, I see.
So, I mean, there was no, and his father was the mayor. I mean, her father was mayor. And so we used to visit one another. Neighbors used to come, Turks, and we used to visit them. I don't remember any ill feeling between them.
When the deportation came, I know you said that some of the Turkish neighbors said they would hold the photographs.
Yes,
and
they
sign
did.
it. Was that usual? Do you think Turks
Yeah,
did
most
try
of
to
them
help
did.
the Armenians?
Yes, they
poor
tried.
neighbors?
Most time they tried to help. This family that I'm saying, after we left, they have said that they'll come and take it. They had taken it, but other Armenians put things there too. They came, this is mine, this is. By the time we came, half is gone. They didn't know who took what. They put it in the store.
Do you think those Turks who were helpful were just as upset by these massacres?
Of course they were.
Do you think they understood it any better than anyone else did?
I don't
They
think
just
so,
as
because
puzzled?
they're puzzled. They're women especially. They are not intelligent enough. I mean, knowledgeable enough to understand what was going on.
Now jumping back again,
Yeah.
when you had your 4 little daughters and you
Yes.
were growing up, do you think those were some of the happiest years of your life, bringing up your children, or when would you say you were, if you had to pick the happiest years, what would you say they were?
I was very happy with my children. I loved them. I was sad my mother was sick. She took most of my time without helping. She couldn't help herself. So I was sad because I didn't have enough time to love my children, to do what more to them. Or I didn't have enough time to give to my husband. He was working very hard, and depression came. He used to come home worried, sick, from the work and everything. I tried to comfort him more than anything else. I tried to reach to everyone, do all I can for the family, because I love my family. And Eric knew that. He would appreciate it, what I did. But the age difference, Susie, was too much. And then growing up atmospheres were too much. We were not suited to one another at that age. If I was a little older, it was perfect. After I got older, we understood one another. He always treated me as a little girl. You are a little girl, you won't understand. You are too young, you don't know. I couldn't open my mouth. I say, I know. No, you don't. All right, you don't know anything. Keep quiet. I kept quiet for the peace. I couldn't say much because for my mother's sake, I had to keep quiet. How can I fight with him? What shall I do with my mother? I had to take it in. And Grandma Yesayian knew that. So she did all she can for me. Later on, she said to me, I did everything for you to make you miserable. And forgive me. How can I forgive after 23 years making my life miserable? That's all. It's gone anyway. But I loved my children. I was so happy with them. And so it's,
What did you love about your children? What made them so special to you?
because they were mine.
Because they
I don't know. They were mine. One day they came home from school and they trying to explain something. They told me something. But Hayek didn't give them permission to speak English in the house. They had to speak Armenian to us. So now they try to tell me in Armenian. Their vocabulary wasn't enough to explain what happened at the school. They're saying, then finally one of them said, Mother, will you give us permission so we could talk in English? I said, go ahead. So they explained what happened. Later on, I thought of myself, Merin, You better come to your senses. These children, this is their limit. They can't go any further in Armenia. And my English is very limited. I said, I have to learn. If I'm going to be mother to them, if I'm going to be friends to my daughter, if I'm going to bring them up, I better learn. I couldn't say that to Heirik because he didn't want me to know too much. Because of divorce, I might hear something bad. That it's no good for me. Protect me from bad things. Nobody could mention divorce in the house. Used to tell me go out. You know, things like that. Like treated me like a little girl. Finally, I asked from him, little radios were just coming out. Where are you gonna go? I said, nothing, I'm just gonna listen. You have big one, listen to that. I said, no, I'm mostly in the kitchen, I like it. Finally, begging for him. We got a little radio in the kitchen. I had a big little shop. From that radio, I learned English. You know, without knowing, Kate Smith was my teacher. Oh. No, her English I could understand. She was give news 15 minutes every noon, and another soap operas I got. Not for the stories, to learn, to hear the language, and to learn American ways. I have no contact with Americans, only Armenians. So I began to learn and learn. One day we needed a plumber or something. I had to tell him to call the plumber, call this, and said, you go ahead and call. I said, I don't know how. He said, try. I went into it. He was listening. He said, you know it, how come? I said, I don't know that I know. I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
And he didn't want me. Then I went to school, asked for books from the teacher. I got some grammar books. I tried to read those. And then I went to Macy's, but bought 12 lessons to teach yourself at home. I got those to start reading those, grammar and everything. And then Reader's Digest I began to read. I used to go to bed. Our room was separate. Because I used to get up to children, to my mother. He used to be in his room, so I wouldn't disturb him. So I used to read. That's how I learned. I taught myself. I forced myself to learn. After Heirik died, Bill said, Mom, no more strict Armenian, please. We had it up to here, that's enough. I said, okay. Yet I said, you tell me English, you tell me, talk to me Armenian, I'll talk to you in English. So we teach one another. We went on like that for a while. So that improved. So then of course after I came here, I have to speak English with Kay in the house. Not that I know any better.
In your whole life, looking back from the very beginning to now, what was the hardest thing you ever had to do?
Hardest thing I ever had to do? Get married to them.
You didn't want to?
No, it was hard. Because the first time, as you know, that I was married with Heirik, that was like my father had come back.
Yes.
You know, he took my father's place. Well, he acted like one. I didn't know anything else. I had wonderful time after that 1 year. That was, I knew what marriage is. I knew what love is. I knew friendship, everything in the world. That 1 year taught me everything. I thought, oh, so this is how it is. You know. That's why When he asked me for 3 years, I thought that's how it's going to be. First one wasn't right. Everybody's like the second one. But it wasn't. Not that I'm sorry, but if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have. But he's a nice person, you know. I'm not sorry for it. But that altogether different.
Yeah.
That's the reasoning behind it. And the situations didn't make it right easy for me either.
Would you say, so that the hardest thing, would you
To
also,
decide.
would you also say that was the biggest challenge that you had in your life? Or would you say some other things might have
Not
been?
challenge. I tell you what the challenge is.
Okay.
To be a widow and leave it. That's the challenge.
That was the challenge.
To be able to take care of the girls and to live the day through. Every night I felt myself, when I went to bed, I said, I am heroine today. I conquered another day. That was my challenge.
What would you like your family to remember about you the most?
My love, I hope, towards them.
What lessons from your life would you like them to remember?
Patience, courage, understanding one another, not to come to quick judgments of others.
And if you had to tell one little amusing story about Lily as a little girl, in case she listens to this tape, what is it?
Lily herself is amazing, right from beginning to the end. You see, she was baby. I used to put it there. She never turned from one side to the other.
No?
So, no, never.
Yeah.
I used to turn her.
Yeah.
Oh, like the, hey, what you did to me. One part of her body was turned to the other. We used to do it on purpose. I put on her side. She wouldn't turn. I used to turn her. Yay. Just turn the head, not herself. And then she never crawled, she sat. And she just crawled like this, all over the place. And she wouldn't get up, And she was walking. She started walking. Just hold end of my skirt, she walked. As soon as I pulled the skirt down, she used to sit wherever she was. And, she was so... And then we tried to dance the church part.
Yeah.
We said right foot first and left foot second, and then we turn around and hold hands. That's the song goes in its translation. She didn't learn to do it. She didn't learn the words. Last night she's telling me, are you going to teach the baby, what good, what good? She called it would. It's ach vodka.
So she's still saying
Sak
it wrong.
vodka. She still says it wrong. She said, are you going to teach that to the baby? I said, yes, I will. So.
Well, is there anything you'd like to say? We've covered so much ground today. I don't want to, we've sort of exhausted a lot of areas for one day. But is there anything? We still have some tape time here.
Well, I tell you that one story that my mother's courage, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
When we were in Selmiye, during the deportation in that little village, the name of the village was Selmiye. And it was all the Aga Khan's people was there. And one Turk officer's son had one Armenian girl kidnapped, sent home. He was going to come and get married with her. My mother was their doctor. As I said, there was no doctor over there, only my mother. And my mother was their doctor. She was visiting there, so one strange girl walking around. My mother said, "Who is she?" They said that, well, Ali sent her home. He's going to come home and get married to her. My mother looked at her. She's Armenian. And then she asked for a glass of water, a cup of water or something. My mother said, Tunhayes, an Armenian. She knew three words. She said, yes. And my mother said, okay, keep quiet or something. Next week, she had a little cold sore here. They brought to show it to my mother. And she knew Turkish, and she knew Armenian. She's from Istanbul side. And my mother said her name was Victoria, but she didn't tell them she's Victoria. She was 11 years old. She told them she was Rose or Pearl or something, some kind of name. And she said, my mother said, keep picking on it, make it worse. Says, I'll save you from here. And my mother supposedly gave her medicine there. She gave something to irritate. So they became a big sore here. My mother said, it's only 2 more weeks, the boy is going to come next week to marry her. And my mother said, they asked him, why isn't that getting better? What's not getting better? My mother said to the woman, it's very bad. This is very bad. So you have only one son, and you're going to marry her? Oh, no, let her go. Just let her go. They said, oh no, we can't do that. Mother said, this is most awful disease. That it just gets, so they kept her in isolation forever. Then her husband came home. She told about it. And the husband, they called my mother forward. What shall we do with her? They can't let her go to the street. My mother said, oh, around here we have our priest, we have responsible people, you just hand it to them. They take care of it. He says, okay, collect everyone that you know to your house. I'll bring her over there and give it. If not anything happens to her, then I will hold you responsible. It's a very influential person. My mother said, all right. Now, I don't know how many people had dignitaries. My mother called whoever was there, and they came over. This man brought this girl with a little daughter, and came over and said, everybody sign that you're getting this girl. I'm not going to see her in the street or any place. Who's going to take care of her? They said, Bishop Yesayian? Maybe you heard of him. His father was a priest there. He said, the priest will take care of it. They're so poor, how are they going to take care of it? They can't even take care of their family. Well, anyway, the man gave her, After that, now they thinking who's going to take her home? I went to my mother and got her hands. Mommy, I want a sister. I want her. My mother said, okay, honey, we're going to have her. So we kept her with us. She stayed with us for almost 4 years. And this girl became our, like sister to me. Then she remembered her brother was still in the city that she left near Istanbul, Eskişehir they call it. And we rode over there. My father rode. And answer came, that Victoria is alive. He knew that much. And then he knows his mother was listening because he never moved from there. He was officer in the city. And so they were finally we find her mother and her brother. And of course my father's name is Nuri, mother's name is Jamila. the boy gets suspicious that maybe she's in a Turk house. Then said, my grandfather Stephen sends his regards to you. My uncle Harrington, my sister Merin, sending regards. Then they find out that we are Armenians. And they felt good. We kept her until after the war. Everything was all right. Then her brother picked up her mother in Alak, put her in a train. My father took her to train to Hama. Put her in the train from the other end, her brother and mother. They were united. Later on, we used to correspond in Aintab. But Aintab war happened, we left. And they left, we lost one another. One year I was in California here, and he receives a letter from Gochnak magazine, that somebody is looking for Kharajian name. My auntie used to send Gochnak newspaper to my cousin Barker to Beirut. They have the Kharajian over there. They sent this letter to the sender. They said, do you know anybody like this? This girl is looking for a Kharajian family. Auntie heard me talking about this, Victoria. When I came from California, Auntie said, Merin, I have a letter for you. She is looking for us. She is in Bulgaria, Sofia. But the address is torn. You don't know, there is no address inside. Everything like that. So, I didn't know what to do. Finally, somebody said, a priest in Watertown had a brother in Bulgaria. So I went to see the priest. I said, this is the letter I received, but the address, he couldn't make anything out of it. It's torn. And said, okay, write the letter. I send it to my brother. He's a priest over there. So I wrote a letter. His brother over there in the parish said that her name is Kharajian, Victoria Kharajian. After the church, you come and sing. Went over there. Here's a letter for you from your sister. She got that letter. She was so happy, poor thing. And she sent me letters one after another. She got married with a very rich person, which had a leather factory. And then they were in Greece, around there. So they burned the factory, they put them out. They ran to Bulgaria because her husband had a sister there. They ran over there without anything, nothing on, just what they had on, they just ran. And her brother went with her. She wrote to me, we have nothing, 10 people staying in one little room. They have nothing to eat, nothing to do, everything, asking for things. So I sent her about 16 packages, clothes, eating, they hadn't touched sugar or anything. I sent 5 pounds sugar. Can you imagine how much you have to pay for it? And tea, and from needle, thread, razor, everything, whatever she asked, I sent. Girls' clothing, Levon's clothing, sent continuously. What they did, what I sent, most of them, they sold some of them that they couldn't use. They bought a pot and a little mangler, thing to burn charcoal in it. I sent them spaghetti, tuna fish, whatever I could think of. They made spaghetti that night and had it with tuna fish. So we all sat down
Better than nothing.
and prayed for you.
Yeah.
Well, I whatever
Sure.
I thought of, I could send to her. Dry milk, Lots of Oh, then she kept asking for money, asking for money. All right, I said, I noticed there's no end to it. She said, we're going to go to Armenia. We need $300. I sent $300. Please hurry, send special delivery. They're going to go there. I sent 3 months later. They didn't go. They had the money, finished, sent some more. Well, I noticed something fishy going on around here. Finally, they went. She wrote to me from Hayastan, Armenia. She said that, send me some nylon shirts, baby clothes, nylon, so it won't weigh so much. Mail it to me with the plane. It makes lots of money over here.
Okay, so did you
No. Then I find out that after tricking me several times, asking, sending her so many things, sending her twice $300, $500. All right, and she wants me to send her now nylon shirts. Over here was $18 at that time. I didn't say anything anymore. I didn't answer. She wrote and wrote. I didn't answer her anymore. She sent people that went to Hayastan, gave my address. Will you please write to her? They sent to me. I didn't answer. I was disappointed. Very disappointed. During this deportation time, we had about 3 boys in the house and this girl. I was telling you last night. One was this boy came, my father brought him home. One eye was blind, all dirty, filthy, all the glass walking all over him, everything. Just my mother just said to Karabek, here Karabek, take this, take her to Turkish bath. First go to barber, just shave his head, and take her to the bath and put your clothes on and come over. My father went and bought him a slipper or whatever, sandals. And he stayed there. And this boy, another one, Antranik, this boy stayed over there. What are we going to do with them? After the war was over, war was over, my father took them to Hama. There was the nearest relief, had opened an orphanage. And my father left them there. After, I didn't see them anymore. After I got married, week after, doorbell rang. I went there. A young man is in broad high suits. He had ordered suits tailored. He brought in his hand. I looked at him and said, I said, Antranik, yes. He said, Sister Merin, yes. He has grown. Well, he had come and find his uncles. Uncle was tailor, so he was working with his uncle. And my mother was there. And you should have seen them just like that. So one I find like that. The other one I never saw again. Garabit stayed with us the longest. And the other one, I was talking about it like this one day. Uncle Barkev said, I know him what you're talking about. He's a druggist. He's in Connecticut, New Haven now. But I asked for it, I couldn't find it. I understand now that he is friends with Dikran Haditian. I'm going to locate and see what happened to him.
Yeah, it's certainly worth the effort, my goodness.
Yes. So many. Not only that, my father was so good to Armenians, to find so much work for everybody over there. So sometimes they had a rule to go store by store. If nothing was good, no good, like sour mazun or something, they used to dump it. Tomatoes, they used to stack over. My father used to go and just make an eye, you know. And then that's the inspector coming, so they used to hide everything. That's the way he helped so many people. One morning he said to me, I was going with my father to do something or other. I got out the door. Before we reached the corner, so many little boys, girls came and started holding his end of his coat. My father used to take them every day to the bakery, buy them bread, give them bread. They're waiting for him. So I said, what is it? I was just left aside. So what happened was that my father said that they come every day, went over there, bought bread and gave it to them. That was their meal for the day. Poor things. And you know, among all that, they find two ways to survive. Two little brothers. One wasn't older than 3 years old, maybe 2 years old, about. The other one is 5 years old. They were the poorest thing. Their parents had died. These two, I don't know where they were staying with another poor family. This older boy, 5 years old, tie a ribbon or a cord on other's neck. He used to sing, and this little one used to go from one side to the other, supposedly dancing. It was so amusing. He used to sing and that little one danced like a little monkey, and people used to give money. That's how we made this. And others, camels used to come with all wheat, their cargo. And these little ones used to go underneath, take a little shish, just go like this, and fill up their skirt, their head, and the other one is sitting in the corner, filling up bag or whatever they have, they come back. So my father's supposed to be the officer out there to take the whole thing from the Arabs and give it to Turks, to the army. And he used to come home and tell us about this. My mother said, Nori, you're teaching them, they are becoming thieves. My father said, who cares as long as they keep alive?
Yeah.
They straighten up when they grew up. But they did that 1 pound or 2 pound wheat. They used to go and sell it and buy bread.
Before you all had to leave Aintab, what did your house look like? The one that you grew up in before all the terrible things started.
Well, I understand when my mother got married, they stayed at my Kharajian family. From my grandfather's book, I understand their old house is here. Then he bought neighbors and added to it. He bought this side, added to it. So it was, so many rooms. And we have a courtyard, of course. And it was on a hill. So to the second yard, we had to go up the stairs. So there's a house and a kitchen, over there. So my father and mother was in that little room, little place that they owned in the beginning. And nobody was using, so my mother and father stayed there. And that section wasn't so good, weather-wise. My doctor grandfather's house was on top of a hill, which the air, everything was better. After I was born, doctors said my mother didn't feel good, well enough. They told her to go back to his father's house. And my mother went back to her father's house, which we used to stay at Grandpa's parlor. But that was a guest house. When the guests came, they opened the house. But nobody was coming. Grandpa had died when I was 2.5 years old. There was nobody. So we occupy that section. So the houses are different. I don't know how I can. Maybe you understand you saw Beirut or other places. So when we open the door, you come all walls all around. The doors are by the wall. You knock it and go in. It was a landing. Then we had the stairs to go to the yard. And rooms all around it. But this one, right away by the door, you go up the stairs. When we went, we called it Livan. Like one side open porch, big. It was red marble over here. From there, we used to go to our living room, which was all wood paneling, but carved. Among the carves, there was mirror underneath. Cabinets, closets, the center medallion, It was pretty. And at the end there, they have little knick-knack thing, closet, like a china cabinet. You have pretty things there, so it's there. Then all around the house, you put high couches, or made wooden. It's made by wood, just high. You put mattresses over it and cover it with oriental rugs for the winter. For summer, we put tapestry, something light. And then pillows all over it. That's how it's, people seated. And then from that room, there was 2 steps up, another room, lower room. Most houses have it. A little higher. Underneath is a storage room. In this case, it wasn't, because one house owned the other. It was another families that used to live underneath. It's there, that higher place. Whatever, it's among one another. And they're in one another. And from that place, there was a store to go up to attic, let's say, but the storage room. All the food used to be there. For the winter, they got ready. Everything was in bags and hanging over there. All the things are prepared for the winter used to be there. And everything. And then as we entered to that marble thing, this side was open to the yard. It was a sleeping porch.
Is that where everybody slept? Did
Yeah,
everyone
during the
have their
summer.
own private sleeping porch, or
Yeah.
everyone all slept in
Every
one?
room, every house, one room is a house for a family. Every family had a sleeping porch. In the summer, they sleep outside.
So you and your parents slept on the same porch?
On the same porch, yes.
On little mats on the floor, or did you have little beds?
Well, we slept mats here, but when we went to summer homes, we had beds. In my winter house, I used to sleep in that little room in a bed with a little canopy like yours, was covered. That's where I slept. But my parents slept in the main house on the mattress with that thick wool, Main house. It was decorated very well. Had nice windows. My father loved flowers. Every window was full of flowers.
Where would everyone eat? Was there a dining room?
We had a dining room. During the summer, we used that. From that little one that I called as we entered, there was a little room there. That was our dining room. But we ate that during the summer. In the winter, it's cold. You can't warm up everywhere. So we ate it in the main room. My father fixed that it was mother, don't forget. We had a pot-belly stove. And the ceilings are so high over there. Over the windows, they have little windows. They call it bird windows. One out there, they put the thing out, the
The vent.
vent out. We did have that stove in the room that warmed up. So we used to be nice and warm and cozy all winter.
What would be in the kitchen?
Kitchen is downstairs, all at the other end of the yard. It's cold because the area was so big, and you have to walk in the snow and whatever. My father built a kitchenette to my mother up in that place that I told you.
Yeah.
You enter, that like a closet, In there, he had it built 3 stove place that we could cook. My mother used to open the cabinet and cook over there. It has a vent to the yard. And cook over there. Another closet for the spices and cabinets.
Did she have a work table? Like a counter or a work table to...
Yes, he had a little board. Mostly they do sitting over there on the floor. There were the wood is that high. But the table was in the next room, in the dining room like. And then my father built a fountain for her to wash hands, Used to hang, we had to fill up the water, but it's a faucet. And then connected to the drain. Used to go down to the street. She had very convenient over there for herself to work in, to cook, to wash. And maids used to bring the water up to fill up that thing.
Was there an outhouse or a little...
Outhouse, not in the yard.
Yeah.
See, all the yards are closed all day. We had 2 or 3 of them in a row. All marble. Has a cabinet. Covered. So we used to go there. And kitchen is over there, big kitchen. Wood burning for laundry, they used to make homemade breads on the thin bread on the thing. And all the neighbors, one family sitting here, another family there. And there was a family used to read in their room, stay in their room. That they were my doctor grandfathers. He got him when he was a young boy. And as a doorman or as a helper. And he was orphaned. My grandfather married him, gave him a room. He had 2 children, got old, and he died over there. Still they had that room for themselves, and had a kitchen and a storage room and everything.
Well, it sounds like it was very comfortable and very pretty.
Very pretty, yeah. As you enter, and of course water is well water. You have to pull the well. We had 2 wells. And then half of the yard was white marble. The other part was stone, dark stone, and one part was dirt. I don't know why. I guess they added or something.
What would you do for light at night? Kerosene?
Kerosene, nothing else. Kerosene. We had chandelier with kerosene. And all kerosene lamps all over. Everybody uses that. And we had a clock on the wall that was unusual. Showed the date and the full moon or half moon or whatever.
Well, Grandma, you've certainly told us so many things today. Could practically write a book on all these tapes, but we've recorded them now, and we've got a lot of things down here.
Well, take whatever you can from it and leave the rest, I don't know.
Well, I want to thank you. I know this was Susie's project, but I want to thank you because I think it's very interesting to me, and I think it'll be very interesting to
You're welcome.
everybody else.
Well, let me tell you something else, if there is any room.
Oh, yeah, keep going.
My mother and father, they were in school together. My father's mother always told my father that she's the one for you when you grow old. So my mother was very pretty. And my father kept eye on her all the time. Mother used to say during the recess hour, boys section was different, girls was different. They were playing. Somehow my father running, playing ball, bumped into my mother. He got up, Grandma, what are you doing in my... When he saw my mother, he says, oh, it's you. He said that. Yeah. And then years later, I told you my mother was going to a church with her sister. I saw a man out there. I said, oh, sister, look at that boy. Isn't he homely? I wonder if anybody would ever get married with him. And she said, well, he's one of the rich boys. Of course they will. Just 3 days later, this boy's father comes to Grandpa's office and asks for my mother's hand. And Grandpa said yes. And then calls down to my mother, bring syrup, cold drinks, and bring Nergula, bring coffee. My mother went up to the office and says, kiss your father-in-law's hand. You know, what father-in-law? What's this? And he says, I promised you to his son. My mother doesn't know who it is. Across the street, her sister went over there. Sister, my father had promised my hand to somebody else by this name. Oh, he says, you know that boy that you saw? I don't want it. So my mother put her foot down for 2 years. I give her credit for that. And my father heard that. He was hurt. Now he has to do something. He got up and came. My mother's other brother was in America. He came back as a very famous dressmaker, tailor for men's suits. He has a tailor shop and all the workers and everything there. And next door, my father rented for himself. They became friends. So friends that he used to come home to eat, to see my mother. So he used to pass some papers to my mother during the thing. And my mother used to write the answer back and forth. That went on for a while. Then as soon as they got separated from the other one, so my father came in, went to his father. Father, asked Hakim Baba's daughter for me. He said, what? You have no work, you have no business, you haven't studied yet. I said, please, Daddy. He said, no. Finally, he came in. As he came in, at that time my mother was, not engaged anymore. A year had passed meanwhile. And as they walked in, Hakim Baba said, congratulations, before they said anything else. He was that guy, why dearly Daddy, just say hi. And so that's how they got engaged. They were so in love, right from beginning to the end.
Well, that's a very nice story.
Yeah, so let's finish with that.
Okay. Okay. Hit the button.
Sure.